Hey, if you saw my last vlog, you know that it snowed like a lot. So, because I'm already on my winter TBR and now we're also having like a very snowy atmosphere, I wanted to read some wintry books. And that's why in this reading vlog, I want to try to read Snow Country by Yasunari Kawabata, as well as the short story collection, The Haunting Season by Bridget Collins and a bunch of other authors. And I hope they're good and that they bring the vibes. I've actually already read this, so I'm gonna transfer you to a clip where I review this. But I hope you have fun. Hey, I'm here to talk to you about Snow Country by Yasunari Kawabata. This edition is gorgeous. Sadly, the book wasn't. I'm gonna preface this by saying if you like this, I'm not taking away from this. Please tell me why you did so in the comment section, but on my continuing warpath with classics, this was just not for me, sadly. I mean, this follows Shimamura, who is I wanted to say he's like a Japanese businessman, but I think he's unemployed. I think he's like an heir. But like, who cares? He goes to this part of Japan that is really snowy. It's called Snow Country, like the title, and he gets into this entanglement with this local geisha called Komako, and the book is just all about them. And I didn't really care for it. I mean, this is, in my opinion, not beautifully written. It's very choppy, and I heard that this is because it's supposed to be in the style of like these Japanese poems. It's called haiku, and like I know haiku from Ghost of Tsushima, but whatever. But I don't know. I think those can be like beautiful in the way that they are very short, but still portray like something really evocative. But this was just choppy and it felt empty, and the characters didn't have any depth. And the I don't know, it just jumped from plot point to plot point so fluidly without describing anything, without lingering on anything, without explaining anything. It was, I don't know, it just left me feeling confused and not feeling anything for the characters, really. I did not really like this. I'm giving it 2 stars. Again, if you think this book is amazing, please tell me why, but this was just not for me, and I'm continuing to not give classics high ratings. I mean, what did I like? I really don't like any classics. I think the most classic book I like is White Fang by Jack London. And I mean, that one was good. I gave it 4 stars, but otherwise, I mean, yeah, that's sadly not a very high success rate. But I mean, this did have a snowy atmosphere, and the like description of the snow country was okay. But and I mean, it was probably the best part of the book for me, but I still wouldn't recommend reading it for that. Obviously, this is a reading vlog about snowy atmospheres, but there's so many better books that also have like a snowy atmosphere. I'm thinking like Near the Bone by Christina Henry, Snow by Ronald Malfi, uh, any of the, like, pick up literally anything else with a snowy atmosphere. It's probably better than this. I'm sorry. But yeah, this was an unfortunate disappointment, but I'm continuing this vlog, obviously. I'm gonna read The Haunting Season next. I think there are 8 stories in this book, so I'm probably gonna give you an update like every 2 stories. And let's hope that one's good. Guys, it's 1:30 in the morning. I'm so tired. I need to stop filming at these insane hours. But I have updates to give on The Haunting Season. And actually, not 1, but 3 stories in here. And it's because I DNF'd like 2 of them. And yeah, you're not gonna like how this collection is going for me. First, we need to talk about the first story. That was A Study in Black and White by Bridget Collins, the editor of this collection herself. That story was bad, and especially it was like a really bad opener for this collection, in my opinion. It's about Mortimer, not Mortimer. His name is Morton. Like literally so unmemorable. His name is Morton, and he gets obsessed with this like house in black and white that's like really symmetrical, and he likes symmetrical stuff for some reason, and he ends up renting it, and obviously the house is haunted. I swear, if you have ever read a haunted house book, if you had ever seen a haunted house TV show, if you know anything about haunted houses or ghost stories, you will know how the story ends. You will know how the story takes its course. You will know everything. It's so predictable. It was so dumb. Like, I know that Bridget Collins, the editor of this short story collection, wrote this herself. But like, at some point you have to have like the grace to admit that your own story isn't like good enough to be the opener for this collection. Or like, but I don't have no idea why this was in here. I give it 2 stars. This was really bad. But like, I also don't even can give her the grace to think like, oh my god, she was just delusional about her own story. I think she was delusional about every story in here, because like the next story is the oh my god, I already forgot the name. It's Thwaites Tenant by Imogen Hermes Govar. What a name. I also don't know how this woman got a place in here. I think she wrote like 1 novel in 2018 and hasn't published anything except for short stories in here since. And you could tell like that story I DNF'd it, okay? And I had 10 pages left of that short story. 10 pages out of a 40-page short story, and I couldn't be bothered to finish it. It was so bad. Like, also, it was also like predictable. I could probably still make a prediction on the end and be right. I just don't want to find out because it's so boring. Basically, it's about this woman. I also already forgot her name. Like, what the fuck? And she ran away from her marriage because, I mean, her husband was abusive. And like, that part of the story was like kind of okay. I mean, it's not okay. It was it was like horrid because it was really uncomfortable the way she was treated by like her father, who ends up sending her to this like crumbling manor where he seems to like send all of his mistresses to take care of their pregnancies, if you know what I mean. Like, he doesn't want them to be pregnant, and like he sends them there to take care of it. And that was like really uncomfortable. I just didn't like that. And like the supernatural element is just like the most average haunting again. I couldn't be bothered. Like, what the And the next story, like, that really drove it over the line. I was like, already at that point, I was like, I'm gonna give every story in here like 10 pages, and if it's not for me, I'm gonna DNF it. The next story didn't even get 10 pages. It's The Eel Singers by, I think it was Natasha Polley. Yeah, I could be wrong, but I think it was Natasha Polley that wrote that one, and that story was like bad. Like, how did that woman get the job of writing a story in here? Literally, what the? I have no idea. It's literally the story. I was so taken aback when I just saw, and I'm gonna insert a picture of it here, a footnote that had vital context for the story in it. Like, and it was a third of a page long. And it didn't happen one time, it happened 3 times. And then there were also like even smaller footnotes that also had vital context for a story in here. How incompetent do you have to be to write something like that? If footnotes should be like explanations for like certain difficult terms or something, but not vital context of the story. If you have vital context of the story that you can't convey in your story, then you should rewrite your story, or you should find a way to make your story have sense without it. Like, I don't know what the that was. I was so taken aback, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna read this. And in the end, I'm just like, I'm DNFing. I'm DNFing this completely. And also, I'm not gonna pick it back up, which I don't. I do that so seldomly. Like, if you saw my last like the book purge, the first video I posted, there was 1 book on there that was a DNF that I'm gonna unhaul, that I unhaul now. Because usually when I DNF a book, it's just gonna go back here on the TBR shelf. I can't do this with it. This was so bad. And the thing is, Laura Purcell and like Andrew Michael Hurley, like I like Andrew Michael Hurley. I read 1 book by him, like The Lonely. I gave it 3 stars, but like I thought it was pretty okay. I was pretty excited for a story in here. I can't be bothered to look up his story in here. What the And like Laura Purcell and Andrew Michael Hurley are the only like genuine horror authors in a Ghostly Tales for Long Winter Nights collection. What? Like, I looked up the backlogs of all these authors, and they're mostly like
historical fiction, maybe some really low fantasy sprinkled in their authors. Like, I get why these stories are the way they are, but this was just like mismarketed. I know that it's probably like I get that this is probably like more like a Victorian ghost stories and like that tradition, and those aren't really like spooky or like horrifying or like anything. But like, girls, like even this one story I literally finished. Like, what are you on about? You can make a traditional ghost story like Dark Matter by Michelle Paver, one of my favorite books of all time, came out in like 2010. It's like a traditional ghost story that still does so much with that format. None of the stories in here do anything with the format. Like, I know that I'm literally just not making sense at this point. I'm literally just rambling because I hated this so much. But yeah, like, we're gonna end this reading vlog with this as a DNF and the other one as a huge disappointment. I'm so sorry that this video was so negative, but it is just what it is. I'm probably gonna end up doing like a recommendation video for like actually good winter books, because I read a lot of actually good winter books, and the ones I read in this video were not it. So stay tuned for that. And if you had any thoughts on these, like, let me know. But those were not for me, I can tell you. Like, I hope you still have fun with like, especially with like this rambly portion. I have no idea how I'm gonna edit this, but yeah, I'll see you again, hopefully.